Colorado was the first state in the country to sign on to a federal program to help schools and food banks buy produce from local farmers. Well, the Trump administration just killed that program. So our Jaleesa Irizarry talked with participants about what they plan to do in the future.
Progress is plain to see at the local food bank for Larimer County. In this economy, food goes fast. But it's what isn't moving.
It is, yeah.
That leaves Josh Green wary.
Cuts to a program like this are deeply felt, definitely something that we're grappling with.
Green is the operations director. Federal funding has stalled for two USDA programs called the Local Food for Schools, or LFS, and the Local Food Purchase Assistance Cooperative Agreement, or LFPA. LFPA dollars were given to food banks to purchase produce from local farmers.
I have no doubt that we will be able to continue to meet the need. It's just going to look different in how we do it.
Green says now they'll likely have to source the produce from larger out-of-state companies. Costs that could eat into their total inventory.
We can't just replace this nearly $2 million overnight.
Erin Pulling is the CEO of Food Bank of the Rockies. She says LFPA gave her organization about $2 million since 2022. The loss of it will decrease the amount of fresh produce they'll be able to buy locally.
These grant funds help with that tremendously.
Shannon Thompson works for the School Nutrition Association of Colorado. She says the other program that was cut, LFS, means school districts will also have a harder time buying fresh produce locally. Between the two programs, Governor Polis says the state lost $7.5 million in funding.
It's really going to mean less on our plates for our kids at schools, and we don't want to do that.
What these three organizations want to do is continue to provide resources for Coloradans. For some, it's unclear if they'll be able to find the funding they lost elsewhere.
Definitely a lot of disappointment all around and uncertainty about what the future holds.
All three organizations worry how this will impact local producers. Feeding Colorado says this program provided a solution to one of the biggest challenges for small and mid-sized farms, market access. It's unclear if many of these food banks will be able to continue to afford to work with farmers in our state.
So how does this funding drop line up with the harvest calendar and when this typically happens?
The timing is awful, honestly. I spoke to Josh and he said they wanted to give these farmers as much notice because they're already starting to plant, right? This stuff just doesn't sprout overnight, right? But they need to get this funding done by August, and some of the biggest harvests is September, October. So obviously it's going to impact the amount of produce they get.
All right, Jaleesa Irizarry, thank you very much.